What's going on, guys? Reformed Stoic here. So, I have brought you here today to discuss the number one cause of loneliness, and I'm going to get right into it. I got some fish sticks in the oven. We're going to try to wrap this up, maybe 15 minutes or less. The number one cause of loneliness is a lack of community. So, I'd say my generation, 90s kids and beyond, we got a lot of hardworking boomer parents, a lot of latchkey kids, a lot of people who spent their time with what I like to call the Lord of the Flies, which is no structure, unsupervised kids, doing whatever they want, video games, candy, snacks, and then eventually dude weed, alcohol, parties, trying to one-up other guys, trying to get noticed by girls. Unstructured chaos. And I think this is what has led a lot of men to their doom, because as the black pillars are trying to point out, if you ain't the shiniest, tallest, best looking, quote unquote, Chad, a lot of guys are finding that they're failing with women. And I think that's because of the kind of community or lack of community you've surrounded yourself with. So I just wanted to discuss a few bullet points on this. Let's go ahead and start with the early development. So how does one do it right to start with? In your early development through elementary school, middle school, high school, you're going to want structured, supervised extracurricular activity. And that could be in the form of so many things. I remember they had intramurals sports in elementary school where kids would just hang out in the gym and like rollerblade or play dodgeball or basketball or just take part in play sport activities, or of course being involved in sports, having a mentorship, having someone help you learn how to like an apprenticeship, mentorship, learning a skill when you're young, being groomed to be a real estate agent or a welder, or just learning to obtain a valuable skill when you're young, and then taking part in that in school. Like if you're really into woodworking, and then you take a carpentry woodworking class, or you're into cars and you have somebody show you around the basics of cars and car parts, and then you take a auto shop class in high school. You know what I mean? Just structure, activities. Sports is a great way to build confidence and be around other dedicated, like-minded individuals to have reasons to stay out of trouble, developing your confidence, making you look good. It's going to help you attracting women. You got the cheerleaders around you and the dance team. Key club. I'd say just like doing good in school, even if you like had a tutor, if you had a stay-at-home parent who could sit down with you and do your homework with you and like make sure you have a structured homework hour. Parents should really have their kids like, hey, every single day, 5 p.m., you do your homework. I check in with you, and if you're not doing your homework, you get punished. And if you make sure you always make homework time every day, then we do a special pizza night, or I buy you something, or I give you an allowance based off of your continuous keeping up of your grades and doing your homework. Structure in the house, structure in school. You're not skipping class. There's punishments for kids skipping class. You're doing structured extracurricular activities from a young age. When your kids are second, third grade, the parents are telling them, so we gotta tell you something, son. When you get to 5th grade, we're gonna want you to pick 2 extracurricular activities, and we're gonna make sure that you stay in extracurricular activities all through school. So chances are, if you're watching this video, you might have been one of the people with a similar experience to me. Latchkey kid, come home after school, empty house, turn on the TV. You tend to gravitate towards these other latchkey kids who are playing video games and love snacks, video games, soda, staying up late, that segues to drugs and partying, degeneracy culture, which segues to realizing that there's women out there who are just, throwing themselves all over the place. You're not in a church. You're not in any sort of, nobody's teaching you how to have like a serious relationship. Nobody's teaching you values about trying to find someone who you want in your life for the long term. No values, no structure, no supervision, no discussing of goals. You were just set to wreak havoc, and it's no wonder that you ended up without any community. And when you don't have community, it's no wonder that you ended up alone. So let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about where communities can go wrong. Like, you can have like a faulty, codependent kind of a community. I have here faulty community. I would say that's like you're basically just around losers. They treat you good, you treat them good, but they're holding you back. You surrounded yourself with people who just want to be comfortable. You guys love to screw off, and chances are those people will turn on you when you try to leave them behind. Faulty community, not much to say about that. Surrounded by losers. Destructive community, that's what I felt I had in high school. When you're around the wrong people, okay? My community in high school was dude bro party jocks and chads or whatever. And I felt I was getting the short end of the stick with them, and I should have been in school politics or key club or law club, or maybe should have gotten sports earlier, or I feel like there should have been a lot more musical extracurricular activities I could have been in. Reality is, though, is I think I was doing enough with music. I needed something else. I needed somebody to sit me down and say, you are a good drummer, you do have a lot of skills in music, but you need to be more... You need to have a little bit more going on than just that, You need to pick some sort of a school activity and take pride in it, and you need to get good grades. And, I'd recommend, guys, if you're a musician, young, you pick something else that's going to be your moneymaker, and you go minor in music in school, major in something else. That's a topic for another video. So a codependent community. So far we've said faulty community, surrounded by losers. Destructive community, that's you're surrounded by narcissists, people who are chopping you down, vamping off you, trying to boost their self-esteem by tearing down yours. That's where I was at in high school. Then I think in college I got to kind of a codependent community, which can kind of go hand in hand with faulty community. This is when see, I play death metal music, and I don't want to toss shade at that overall, but you can end up with a lot of non-conformist guys who are too cool to go to these kind of parties, or they're too cool to go to these kind of events. And it doesn't have to be death metal. It could be people who never got over grunge, or goth people, or just when you're in that isolating culture, you and your friends are too good for everything. That will hold you back. You're scared to get out in the world, and your friends are scared to get out in the world, so you guys hang out with each other and discuss a million reasons why you shouldn't be out there living a life. And then of course there's one-sided relationships. That goes right along with destructive community. Just within each individual friendship, it's are you getting something out of it? Are they getting something out of it? It's got to be for the both of you, man. You got people who are going to want to use you. You want people who are going to try to take from you and give you nothing back. So as far as building the community, it's okay, Reform Stoic, what do I do? I agree that my lack of community has left me lonely, but here I am in my mid-20s or early 20s, or maybe you're like me and you're 30 or 31. Where do we go from here? Well, what is a community built off of? Common interests, okay? Speaks for itself. Shared ideals, similar experiences, and a shared vision. So similar experiences, this could be some sort of a talk therapy group. You could go to some sort of if you're a drug addict, for example, you could go to an AA meeting and share your experience with a lot of people who have had your similar experience in life. You could go to anger management, or this doesn't sound like anything that I'm especially excited about doing anytime soon, but you go to a meetup group and look for some sort of a group based off of your shared ideals. That could be in the form of church. I've been really giving that a shot lately. I'm going to try to, keep sticking with it. Common interests, like hopefully you have hobbies, hopefully you have things that you're into. Shared vision, shared ideals. This is all pretty basic stuff. I feel like I don't need to say a lot about it. So a community is going to be built on common interests, shared ideals, shared experiences, shared vision. It's kind of all falling under the same category of just like people who you vibe with, people who should be on your team, people who should be on your tribe. So where did it go so wrong in society? Like, why are there so many men who just feel like they're not finding their tribe, they're not finding their community? Because why does it cause loneliness? Well, you gotta get to know people, this idea that like a woman just looks at your picture on a dating app and swipes left or right. It's like you gotta have some sort of a connection. You're a part of a group together. So the fact that you're there and she's there, you're not creeping on her, you're not a stalker, you didn't look her up on Instagram, like you guys are at the same place and you're going to keep going to that same place. And then you have an opportunity to get to know each other in a non-threatening way where it's like, oh, he's not simping on me, he's not creeping on me, he's just there. And I hear what he's saying and I'm seeing what he's about and you're seeing what she's about. Like, this is how people used to meet each other before we just stared at computer screens all the time and smartphone screens. So I would encourage you to find things that you could share with other people. Like, what do you care about? There's a lot of people who like video games, there's a lot of people who like movies, and I think what a lot of guys are starting to point out is like, gamer girls who have this kind of like tomboy personality, they have an opportunity to like monetize it and be like a Twitch streamer woman who just has a lot of simps and reads donos all day and says, oh my gosh, thank you for the 10,000 bits. And I feel like we're running out of gas for this video, guys. I mean, I think you know what I'm saying. There's probably a lot of other videos who could pick up from there as far as like building a community. Like, maybe that's something worth researching a little bit more than what I've said here. Like, you need a community. You need to be around a sizable amount of people. I feel like one of the problems with the church I'm at is it's small. You need to be a part of a number of communities. If a community doesn't work, if it turns out to just fall short of what you're looking for, then respectfully dismiss yourself and look for a new community. All right, here's the fish sticks. Look for more communities. Be a part of more than one community at a time. When something starts working out, spend more time in that community. When something's draining you, spend less time there. That's part of why, for me, being a small town is like, man, I just feel like there's not even really that many options here. But I think you can kind of take it and run with it from there. The last thing I wanted to touch on, guys, is the lone wolf. This is the category I feel like I would fall into. This is right there with what I was saying earlier about the latchkey kids. These are people who have experienced a number of failed communities over the course of your life. All right, you have had a lot of one-sided relationships. You've been a part of faulty communities, destructive communities, codependent communities. And I explained how you get there. You got there from being a latchkey kid, not being put in any sort of structured extracurricular activities or sports, not being pushed in school, not learning discipline, just basically running off with the Lord of the Flies way of life, running around with kids, unsupervised. You're staying up till 4 a.m, chugging 2 liters of Coca-Cola when you're in middle school, and then you're chugging a fucking half bottle of Jack Daniels when you're a junior or senior in high school. And for a lot of men, you can coast on that if you're a pretty boy. If you're a pretty boy and you're dreamy, you can just have your truck and be an alcoholic and a girl's just going to like you. But there's all these guys who, you ran off with the Lord of the Flies, you sat in front of your video games, you sat in front of the television, you didn't have goals early in life. I mean, I had goals, but I feel like music was kind of a bum deal. I feel like I should have had more goals. So The lone wolf is someone who has failed to develop a long-lasting community. You've gone through so many failed communities that you end up just spending time alone, which definitely has its benefits. I mean, ultimately, I've been getting a lot of insights from spending this part of my life alone. Now I'm trying to figure out, okay, it's like I'm smart enough, I'm knowledgeable enough, I've gained enough wisdom and insight to see that this is not how I want to spend the rest of my life. I would like to find like-minded people. I would like to find a like-minded woman. I would like to get out there, and if you decide that you're a little bit more introverted, that's fine. But there's so many things that you could be into. There's so many different kind of communities out there if you live in the right place. It's just like, what do you like to do, man? You like to work out? Find a few people who like to work out. You really like movies? Find a few people to discuss your favorite movies or books with. Like, look in online communities, but you should try to find people that you could actually meet up with in real life. Get on meetup.com. That I never did anything on meetup.com ever in my life, but just look through it, and there should be something that sounds like actually interesting to you. It's like, you know what? That sounds like it would actually be fun, and go with an open mind. And I'm just telling you guys, like, so many guys are alone and they're trying to figure out how to get a woman, and you're failing, and you're cold approaching, and you're getting shot down, and you're DMing women and you're getting rejected, and you're thinking, oh, well, it's because of the black pill. Like, I'm not tall enough for some woman to just want to throw herself at me based off of my Tinder profile picture. Well, what people used to do before we lived in this dystopian, like, death, loneliness machine was they'd build communities and they go do things and, meet up and link up based off of their common interest and their chemistry and linking of personality. And this is a little bit of a blueprint to try, or, for the most part, at least understand what went wrong, understand how it could have gone better. And then as far as, like, how do you fix it? Well, the basics is just common interests, shared ideals, similar experiences, shared vision. I don't think I need to go into too much detail on that. I would recommend you do more research on it. So that's the best I got for you now, guys. That's the same boat I'm in. I've started by going to a church and taking part in activities, and it's been all right. I've made a little bit of progress since I moved back home. I'm out there. I'm talking to people again. Is it going swimmingly well? Like, not necessarily. It's not going bad. People in my chat are trying to say, like, oh, I heard he said that people think he's weird. Like, no, it's just like, I'm still pretty much in the same boat that I've been in. I've just been going out and talking to some people and trying again. And I think that's how it's going to start, guys. Like, you need to understand that this building a community comes between you finding a good woman, okay? Or making friends, or just getting out of the house again, like being out there again. Building a good community, guys, and I'd like to think we at least have the start of a good community here. I'm going to work on making this community better, and I wish you guys the best. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Peace.